Welcome to Frema Audiobooks, the place where powerful ideas come to life. Today, we're exploring Good to Great by Jim Collins, a transformative guide on how companies and individuals can make the leap from being good to truly great. Make sure to subscribe to Frema Audiobooks and hit the notification bell so you never miss an inspiring episode. If you enjoy this audiobook, don't forget to like, comment, and share your support. Helps us keep bringing life-changing insights straight to you. Introduction. Good to Great. Why some companies make the leap. Jim Collins' Good to Great investigates why some companies make the leap from being good to truly great, achieving sustained excellence while others remain average or fail. Collins and his research team studied 28 companies over decades, looking for patterns that separated the exceptional from the merely competent. The book doesn't focus on quick fixes or trendy management tips. It focuses on timeless principles that create long-term greatness. Collins emphasizes that greatness is not about charisma, luck, or top-down leadership. Instead, it emerges from disciplined people, disciplined thought, and disciplined action. These companies build systems, cultures, and strategies that endure, and they do so by following key principles consistently. This is a book about rigor, humility, and focus, the foundation of sustainable success. One of the core ideas Collins introduces is the hedgehog concept, a simple crystalline understanding of what your organization can be best at, what drives your economic engine, and what you are deeply passionate about. Companies that achieve greatness focus on their hedgehog concept relentlessly, making strategic choices that align with it at every level. This clarity allows them to channel resources and energy into what truly matters. Collins also highlights the importance of Level 5 leadership, a combination of personal humility and professional will. Great companies often have leaders who are ambitious for the organization, not themselves, who channel ego into long-term success rather than short-term personal gain. Level 5 leaders set the tone, build culture, and create an environment where disciplined people can thrive. Another key principle is the Stockdale paradox, confronting the brutal facts of reality while maintaining unwavering faith that you will prevail in the end. Great companies don't ignore challenges or paint overly optimistic pictures. They face reality directly and use it to make informed, courageous decisions. This combination of realism and faith is essential for long-term success. Collins' research also emphasizes the flywheel effect. Greatness isn't achieved through single, dramatic breakthroughs. Instead, it's the result of continuous effort, cumulative momentum, and consistent alignment with core principles. Each small, focused action compounds, creating unstoppable momentum over time. Greatness is earned gradually, not through shortcuts. Finally, this book is for anyone seeking lasting impact, whether in business, personal life, or leadership. The lessons from Good to Great go beyond corporate performance. They are about discipline, clarity, and intentionality in pursuit of excellence. As we go through each chapter in this audiobook, we'll explore these ideas deeply, with examples, exercises, and reflections to help you apply them to your own life and work. Chapter 1. Level 5 Leadership, Humility Meets Will. Chapter 1 begins with Collins' concept of Level 5 leadership, which he identifies as the most critical factor separating good companies from great ones. Level 5 leaders are paradoxical. They combine personal humility with intense professional will. They are modest, often quiet, and don't seek personal recognition. Yet behind the scenes, they are fiercely determined to achieve lasting results for their organizations. Their ambition is for the company, not themselves. Collins contrasts Level 5 leaders with the stereotypical charismatic CEO, who often dominates headlines and takes personal credit for successes. While charisma can create temporary excitement, it rarely produces sustainable greatness. In contrast, Level 5 leaders build cultures, systems, and teams that endure long after they leave, ensuring the company's long-term success rather than short-term fame. He provides compelling examples, such as Darwin Smith of Kimberly-Clark. Smith transformed the company quietly, making bold, disciplined decisions, including divesting major divisions and focusing relentlessly on the company's core competencies. Despite his understated personality, Smith's decisive actions and unwavering commitment drove Kimberly-Clark from mediocrity to industry leadership. His humility combined with resolve exemplifies Level 5 leadership perfectly. Collins also highlights the importance of succession planning. Level 5 leaders prioritize the organization over personal legacy. They ensure that their teams, systems, and culture are stronger than any individual. This humility, the willingness to put the company first, allows organizations to thrive long-term. Leadership is about creating conditions for greatness, not personal glory. Collins also highlights the importance of succession planning. Level 5 leaders prioritize the organization over personal legacy. They ensure that their teams, systems, and culture are stronger than any individual. This humility, the willingness to put the company first, allows organizations to thrive long-term. Leadership is about creating conditions for greatness, not personal glory. Another key point is the role of ambition and willpower. Level 5 leaders are incredibly driven, but their drive is focused outward, on achieving results for the company. They demonstrate an almost stoic resolve to do whatever it takes to build enduring greatness. This combination of humility and will is rare, yet it's the defining factor in transforming good companies into great ones. Collins also discusses the importance of culture in reinforcing Level 5 leadership. Leaders set the tone for ethical, disciplined behavior and create an environment where accountability, focus, and excellence flourish. Employees follow not because they are coerced, but because the culture embodies the principles and purpose that the leader models consistently. Leadership, therefore, is as much about culture as strategy. Challenge number 1. Reflect on leadership qualities. Collins encourages you to assess your own leadership, or the leaders around you, with these questions. Are humility and professional will balanced? Are decisions driven by ego, or by the long-term success of the organization? Identify actions you can take to cultivate a Level 5 mindset in yourself or your team. Leadership is about character, discipline, and focus as much as skill or talent. Finally, remember this: greatness starts at the top. Level 5 leaders are the catalysts for transformation because they blend humility, focus, and unwavering resolve. By putting the organization above themselves, modeling discipline, and making courageous, informed decisions, they set the stage for sustainable success. Collins shows that the journey from good to great begins not with strategy, but with the character of leadership at the helm. Chapter 2. First Who, Then What? Getting the Right People on the Bus. Jim Collins begins Chapter 2 by emphasizing a deceptively simple yet profound principle. Before you decide where to drive the bus, get the right people on it. Great companies focus first on assembling the right team, people who are capable, disciplined, and aligned with the organization's core values, before deciding on strategy or direction. Too many companies prioritize what they will do without ensuring they have the right people to execute it, which leads to mediocrity. Collins makes the distinction between people who are merely competent and those who are self-motivated and aligned with the company's purpose. The right people are not just skilled. They are intellectually curious, adaptable, and willing to embrace the disciplined culture necessary for greatness. When you have the right people, direction becomes secondary. The team itself will figure out the best path forward. This flips conventional wisdom on its head. Strategy follows people, not the other way around. He provides compelling examples from his research. For instance, Wells Fargo and Kimberly-Clark first focused on assembling disciplined, talented teams and only later defined precise strategies for market leadership. By contrast, companies that prioritized quick strategic moves without securing the right talent often failed. Collins emphasizes that people are your most important asset, more than your products, your markets, or even your technology. Another key point is that the wrong people can sabotage success, even if the strategy is excellent. Individuals who resist accountability, lack commitment, or prioritize personal agendas over organizational goals can slow progress, create dysfunction, and erode culture. Great companies recognize this early and make tough decisions to remove or reassign individuals who don't fit the mission. This willingness to confront reality is a hallmark of disciplined leadership. Collins also highlights the importance of self-motivation and character in hiring. The right people don't need micromanagement. They are disciplined and take ownership of their responsibilities. They align naturally with the company's vision and will push themselves to achieve excellence. By contrast, the wrong people require constant oversight, which drains resources, focus, and morale. The emphasis is on building a team that acts with autonomy and integrity. He introduces the metaphor of the bus and the wrong people on the bus to illustrate a critical truth. Greatness is not achieved by luck or timing alone, but by disciplined people making disciplined decisions together. The right team can navigate challenges, innovate, and sustain momentum over the long term. The wrong team can destroy even the best strategies and opportunities. Therefore, leadership starts with people, not plans. Challenge number 2. Evaluate your bus. Collins encourages you to reflect on your own team, organization, or circle of collaborators. Are the right people in the right seats? Are there individuals whose values, habits, or attitudes conflict with the mission? Identify steps to cultivate, mentor, or transition people so that your team is aligned, capable, and committed. Getting the right people on the bus creates a foundation for all future success. Finally, remember this. Strategy without the right people is like a car without an engine. It may look good on paper, but it won't go anywhere. Great companies invest in people first, knowing that the right team will determine the company's trajectory. Collins shows that the leap from good to great starts not with market analysis or product development, but with assembling the right people, setting expectations, and fostering a disciplined, accountable culture. Chapter 3. Confront the brutal facts, facing reality while maintaining faith. Jim Collins begins Chapter 3 by emphasizing that great companies do not shy away from reality. They face the brutal facts of their current situation, whether it's declining market share, operational inefficiencies, or internal weaknesses. Many companies fail because they sugarcoat reality or rely on wishful thinking, hoping problems will magically disappear. Collins stresses that confronting the truth is not about pessimism. It's about building an unshakable foundation for disciplined decision-making. Leaders in good to great companies cultivate a culture where the truth is heard, facts are analyzed, and uncomfortable realities are addressed head-on. Collins introduces the concept of the Stockdale paradox, named after Admiral James Stockdale, a prisoner of war in Vietnam who survived extreme hardship. Stockdale combined unwavering faith that he would prevail with a brutal acknowledgement of the reality he faced. Great companies emulate this paradox. They maintain faith in their long-term vision while confronting short-term difficulties directly. This dual mindset prevents denial, builds resilience, and allows organizations to make tough decisions without losing hope or direction. A key element of confronting reality is creating a culture where people feel safe to speak the truth. Level 5 leaders and disciplined teams encourage honesty at all levels, where employees can report problems, challenges, or potential failures without fear of reprisal. Collins notes that companies that silence dissent or foster a yes-man culture are rarely great. By contrast, organizations that reward candor and transparency surface the real issues and find innovative ways to solve them. This culture of truth-telling is a cornerstone of enduring success. Collins provides numerous examples of companies that embraced reality rather than avoiding it. Kroger, for instance, confronted declining sales and customer dissatisfaction openly, and used rigorous analysis to restructure operations, improve service, and focus on core competencies. The result was a sustained turnaround. Facing brutal facts allows companies to make informed decisions, allocate resources wisely, and adapt strategies to ensure long-term growth and stability. Another critical point is the relationship between faith and realism. Facing harsh realities without faith can lead to despair or resignation. Maintaining faith without facing facts leads to delusion. Collins stresses that greatness emerges when both are held simultaneously. Leaders instill faith by communicating a clear vision and purpose, reminding the organization of its why and potential, while also equipping the team with the knowledge and strategies to confront challenges effectively. Collins also highlights the importance of data-driven decision-making. Confronting the brutal facts means gathering accurate information, analyzing it rigorously, and using it to guide strategy. Companies that rely on assumptions, anecdotes, or wishful thinking often make misaligned decisions that erode momentum. Great organizations establish metrics, track progress, and respond to trends objectively, ensuring that decisions are grounded in reality rather than perception or convenience. Challenge number 3. Face your brutal facts. Collins encouraged leaders and individuals to honestly assess their current situation. What are the real challenges holding you back? What weaknesses, gaps, or threats exist that you may have been avoiding? Write them down, analyze them, and discuss them openly with your team or peers. Facing these realities is uncomfortable, but it is the first step toward building resilience, discipline, and clarity for the future. Finally, Collins reminds us that confronting brutal facts is not a one-time event. It is a continuous practice embedded in the culture. It requires discipline, courage, and humility. Companies that embrace reality without fear while maintaining faith in their ability to succeed cultivate momentum, inspire trust, and make strategic decisions that propel them from good to great. In essence, the willingness to see the truth, however harsh, becomes a competitive advantage, distinguishing ordinary organizations from those that achieve enduring excellence. Chapter 4. The Hedgehog Concept. Focus on what you can be best at. Chapter 4 introduces one of Jim Collins' most iconic concepts, the hedgehog concept, which is inspired by the ancient parable of the fox and the hedgehog. The fox knows many things and tries many strategies, often spreading itself too thin, while the hedgehog knows one big thing and focuses relentlessly on it. Great companies, Collins explains, behave like hedgehogs. They simplify complex realities into a single organizing idea that guides all decisions, ensuring focus, clarity, and consistency. The hedgehog concept becomes the guiding principle for strategic decisions and long-term excellence. Collins identifies 3 intersecting circles that form the hedgehog concept: what you are deeply passionate about, what you can be the best in the world at, and what drives your economic engine. Companies that achieve greatness operate at the intersection of these 3 circles. Passion alone is not enough. Competency without market relevance is futile. And economic insight ensures sustainability. By focusing rigorously on this sweet spot, companies allocate resources efficiently, avoid distractions, and channel energy into activities that produce extraordinary results. He provides numerous examples to illustrate this principle. Walgreens, for instance, realized that its core hedgehog concept was convenient, accessible pharmacy services, not just being a retailer or expanding into unrelated markets. By focusing on this intersection of passion, ability, and economic leverage, Walgreens achieved remarkable growth and dominance in its industry. Collins emphasizes that this concept is not about short-term trends. It's about long-term strategic clarity and disciplined execution. Another key point is that the hedgehog concept is not static. Companies continually refine their understanding of what they can be best at, guided by data, experimentation, and feedback. It requires intense honesty and disciplined thinking, as leaders must acknowledge where the organization cannot be the best and resist pursuing attractive but irrelevant opportunities. This focus is often painful because it involves saying no to many tempting avenues, but it is essential for building enduring greatness. Collins also stresses the importance of simplicity and clarity in communication. Once the hedgehog concept is identified, it should be clearly articulated and embedded into every aspect of the organization's culture and operations. Employees, stakeholders, and leaders must internalize this guiding principle so that all decisions, from investments to hiring, from product development to marketing, align with the hedgehog concept. This alignment ensures that energy is not dissipated and that the organization moves as a unified force. He warns against the allure of diversification or chasing what looks superficially profitable. Great companies resist these temptations because they understand that true excellence emerges from focus, not breadth. The hedgehog concept acts as a filter for opportunity, guiding decisions and reinforcing disciplined action. Companies that wander without focus, chasing every trend, often dilute their impact and fail to achieve the compounding momentum seen in great organizations. Challenge number 4. Discover your hedgehog concept. Collins invites leaders and individuals to reflect deeply on the 3 circles. What are you passionate about? Where can you be the best in the world? What drives sustainable results for you or your organization? Write down the intersections and use them as a lens for decision-making. The more honest and disciplined this process, the clearer your strategic focus will become. Finally, Collins reminds us that the hedgehog concept is not a one-time exercise. It is a way of thinking and acting that must be internalized and consistently applied. Companies that embrace this principle with discipline cultivate clarity, alignment, and momentum, enabling them to transition from good to great. The hedgehog concept is about focus, simplicity, and sustained excellence, the strategic foundation upon which long-term greatness is built. Chapter 5. Culture of Discipline, Freedom Within a Framework. Chapter 5 explores one of the most critical components of greatness, the culture of discipline. Jim Collins explains that great companies combine a culture of disciplined people with disciplined thought and disciplined action. This is not about micromanagement or rigid hierarchy. It's about creating an environment where highly capable individuals take responsibility for their work, adhere to core values, and focus on activities that align with the company's hedgehog concept. Discipline is the bridge between potential and sustained success. Collins emphasizes that disciplined companies do not rely on bureaucracy or excessive control systems to achieve excellence. Instead, they cultivate self-disciplined people who engage in disciplined thought and make disciplined choices. These individuals are not driven solely by rules, but by a shared understanding of the organization's purpose, priorities, and guiding principles. When people internalize this framework, they operate with freedom within boundaries, a combination Collins calls freedom within a framework. He provides examples from his research. Kimberly-Clark, for instance, empowered its employees with the freedom to innovate and make decisions, but always within the context of the company's strategic focus and ethical standards. This combination of autonomy and discipline allowed the organization to adapt, innovate, and maintain momentum without sacrificing alignment. Collins stresses that this balance is delicate but essential. Too much freedom without discipline leads to chaos, while too much control stifles creativity and engagement. Another critical aspect of disciplined action is the avoidance of bureaucracy and excessive process. Great companies avoid creating unnecessary rules or procedures that slow progress or discourage initiative. Instead, they focus on instilling discipline in people and processes that matter most. By encouraging individuals to take ownership, make decisions, and hold themselves accountable, organizations achieve extraordinary results without heavy-handed oversight. Discipline becomes part of the culture rather than an imposed requirement. Collins also highlights the power of the stop doing list. In disciplined companies, saying no to activities that don't align with the hedgehog concept is just as important as pursuing what does. Great organizations avoid distractions, resist the lure of short-term gains, and focus relentlessly on core priorities. This disciplined focus ensures that energy and resources compound over time, fueling sustainable growth and excellence. He stresses that a culture of discipline is not a replacement for creativity. Rather, it enhances it. When people operate with clarity, focus, and purpose, their innovative efforts are magnified. Collins cites companies that thrived because disciplined thought and disciplined action allowed experimentation within clear boundaries. In this way, discipline empowers, rather than constrains, innovation and adaptability. Challenge number 5. Build your culture of discipline. Collins encouraged leaders and teams to reflect on the habits, practices, and values that govern daily operations. Are people empowered to take ownership? Are priorities aligned with the hedgehog concept? Are distractions and low-value activities minimized? Identify ways to strengthen discipline without stifling initiative, and create mechanisms to sustain this culture over time. Finally, Collins reminds us that discipline is a choice, not a constraint. Great companies succeed because they combine freedom and accountability, enabling talented people to operate at their best while staying aligned with long-term goals. Discipline is the engine that converts potential into results, allowing organizations to transform from good to great. A culture of discipline fosters focus, momentum, and excellence, the essential ingredients for sustained success. Chapter 6. Technology Accelerators. Using technology as a catalyst, not a crutch. In Chapter 6, Jim Collins explores the role of technology in transforming good companies into great ones. He emphasizes a key distinction. Technology alone does not create greatness. Many organizations adopt new tools, software, or systems, expecting instant results only to be disappointed. Instead, great companies use technology as an accelerator of momentum that already exists. Technology amplifies existing capabilities, supports disciplined action, and reinforces strategic focus, but it cannot substitute for clarity of purpose, disciplined people, or the hedgehog concept. Collins stresses that technology decisions in great companies are guided by strategic alignment. Leaders ask, does this technology enhance our ability to execute our hedgehog concept? Will it increase efficiency, improve quality, or deepen customer engagement in ways that align with our core purpose? By using technology selectively and intentionally, companies avoid the trap of chasing every trendy tool or investing in innovations that do not contribute to long-term success. He provides examples of companies that leverage technology effectively. Fannie Mae, for instance, used technology to automate processes, improve customer service, and gain operational efficiency. Importantly, technology was adopted after the company had disciplined people, clear priorities, and a focused strategy. This ensured that investments amplified what was already working, rather than creating dependency or distraction. Collins warns that the opposite, implementing technology before clarity, can lead to wasted resources and fragmented efforts. Another key point is that technology is often misunderstood as a quick fix. Companies that rely on tech for competitive advantage without disciplined culture, strong leadership, or strategic clarity rarely achieve sustainable results. Collins explains that technology is a tool, not a strategy. It can accelerate growth, improve communication, and enhance operations, but it is effective only when embedded within an organization's core principles and purpose. Collins also highlights that great companies are selective and forward-thinking with technology. They adopt tools that align with long-term goals rather than short-term trends. This requires patience, research, and discipline. Leaders avoid adopting technology just because competitors are doing so. Instead, they focus on innovations that will genuinely amplify the company's ability to execute its hedgehog concept. The result is not only efficiency, but also a sustainable competitive advantage. He underscores the importance of integration. Technology must be integrated seamlessly into existing processes, culture, and strategic focus. Companies that treat tech as an add-on or novelty often face resistance, inefficiency, and wasted investment. Great organizations ensure that technology serves the people, processes, and principles that drive long-term success, making adoption smooth and effective. Challenge number 6. Leverage technology thoughtfully. Collins invites leaders to assess their technology initiatives through the lens of the hedgehog concept and disciplined action. Ask, does this tool enhance what we are best at? Does it support our long-term strategy? Does it empower our disciplined people? Avoid adopting technology for its own sake. Focus on solutions that reinforce core purpose and amplify momentum. Finally, Collins reminds us that technology is an accelerator, not a crutch. It cannot replace strategic clarity, disciplined people, or a culture of focus and accountability. Great companies use technology to reinforce what already works, enabling them to achieve breakthrough performance and sustain excellence over time. When applied intentionally, technology becomes a powerful ally in the journey from good to great. Chapter 7. The Flywheel and the Doom Loop. Momentum is built, not achieved overnight. Chapter 7 introduces one of Jim Collins' most memorable concepts, the flywheel. Collins explains that companies do not achieve greatness through sudden dramatic transformations or one-off breakthroughs. Instead, greatness results from steady, cumulative effort, where small, disciplined actions compound over time, building unstoppable momentum. He compares this to a heavy flywheel. At first, it takes enormous effort to get it moving, but once it spins, each push builds on the last, eventually creating exponential results. Collins contrasts the flywheel effect with what he calls the doom loop. Companies caught in the doom loop are reactive, chasing fads, strategies, or quick fixes without disciplined consistency. They frequently change direction, abandon principles under pressure, and fail to build sustainable momentum. The doom loop produces short-term gains at best, but ultimately erodes credibility, trust, and long-term success. Great companies, by contrast, stay the course, continually reinforcing the flywheel through consistent effort aligned with their hedgehog concept and culture of discipline. He provides examples of companies that mastered the flywheel. Kimberly-Clark, after identifying its hedgehog concept, executed disciplined actions over years, divesting non-core businesses, focusing on consumer products, improving operational efficiency, and investing strategically. Each small step reinforced the others, building momentum that propelled the company from mediocrity to industry leadership. Collins emphasizes that this process is deliberate, cumulative, and often invisible in the early stages, but its effects are profound over time. Another key insight is the psychology of the flywheel. People involved in flywheel organizations often feel small results at first, which can be discouraging. Collins stresses the importance of faith, patience, and persistence. Leaders and teams must continue to push consistently, trusting that the cumulative effect of disciplined actions will eventually produce visible transformative results. This mindset distinguishes great companies from those that give up prematurely. Collins also explains that the flywheel effect is built by alignment across people, processes, and priorities. Every action taken in a good to great company reinforces the hedgehog concept, strengthens culture, and contributes to strategic objectives. Momentum is not created by luck, charismatic leadership, or sudden innovation. It is earned through disciplined consistency, reinforcing the principle that sustainable greatness is a marathon, not a sprint. The doom loop, by contrast, often arises from impatience or fear. Companies flip-flop between strategies, overreact to short-term results, or chase trends without alignment. This reactive behavior dissipates energy, frustrates employees, and undermines trust. Collins warns that many companies fail to transition from good to great, not because of lack of talent or resources, but because they fail to build momentum deliberately, succumbing to the doom loop's destructive pattern. Challenge number 7. Identify your flywheel. Collins invites leaders to examine their own organizations or personal endeavors and identify actions that build cumulative momentum. What small, consistent efforts repeated over time reinforce your purpose, culture, and strategic focus? Which activities are counterproductive and contribute to a doom loop mentality? Mapping your flywheel and committing to disciplined, incremental actions can produce transformative results over time. Finally, Collins reminds us that the flywheel is a mindset as much as a mechanism. It teaches patience, discipline, and the compounding power of consistent effort. Greatness is not achieved through shortcuts or dramatic reinventions. It is earned by steady, intentional momentum that compounds over time. Leaders who embrace the flywheel cultivate resilience, confidence, and sustainable success, ultimately transforming good companies into truly great ones. Outro: From Good to Great, Discipline, Focus, and Momentum. And there you have it, the transformative insights from Good to Great by Jim Collins. From Level 5 leadership, assembling the right people, confronting brutal facts, discovering your hedgehog concept, building a culture of discipline, leveraging technology wisely, to harnessing the flywheel effect, these principles give you a roadmap for sustainable excellence. Collins shows that greatness is not a result of luck, charisma, or shortcuts. It's earned through disciplined people, disciplined thought, and disciplined action. Take a moment to reflect. Which principle resonates most with you today? Is it the quiet strength of Level 5 leadership, the power of getting the right people on the bus, or the compounding effect of the flywheel? Each lesson is a challenge and an opportunity. Small, consistent steps, applied over time, create the momentum that transforms ordinary performance into extraordinary results. Remember, greatness is not a destination, but a journey of disciplined choices. Every decision you make, every action you take, compounds to shape your trajectory. Collins' research reminds us that sustainable success comes from clarity of purpose, alignment of people and priorities, and the patience to build momentum consistently over time. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with anyone who wants to transform their leadership, business, or personal growth journey. Comment below with the insight that impacted you most, and explore more audiobooks on our channel, packed with strategies, stories, and lessons to help you grow intentionally, professionally, and personally. Finally, remember this: greatness is earned, not given. Lead with humility and resolve. Focus relentlessly on what you can be best at. Embrace disciplined action and build momentum one deliberate step at a time. Your journey from good to great begins today, with clarity, discipline, and unwavering commitment.